Hello, our viewers. A very good evening to you all. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're fine wherever you are, in your homes, in your workplaces, and everywhere. And it's me again, your host, Mebo Nalwaza. Today is one of the many Fridays where we're going to be sharing with you facts about the LGBTIQ plus community, not only here in England, but in Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Cameroon, name it, from everywhere. So we're going to be having Friday Facts with Opal. Today, we have a few guests with us, and our topic for today is about one of our community members, Noah Matthew, who was murdered on Monday, beginning of this week. It is really sad that such things are still happening, such murders, such acts are still happening, such incidents are still happening. There's a lot of brutality going on against the LGBTIQ plus community in Uganda, and our guests are going to introduce themselves, and they'll be telling us about what they think about this incident.
Good evening. I'm Ivy Berhanga from Leeds.
Good evening. I'm James Nakisa from North London.
Yeah, good evening to you all, listeners and viewers. My name is Abe Kiwanuka from London, but originally from Uganda.
Yes, these are the people we have on our platform today. As always, we're going to be sharing with you. And currently, what's happened this week is that we lost a member of the LGBTIQ plus community. His names were Noah Matthew Kinino, a 27-year-old. He was found brutally murdered in his home in Makinje. He was stabbed in the neck, and he was laid to rest yesterday in Mityana, in his hometown. It is really, really sad that what is happening right now, well, the police and the newspapers, whatever, on every front line, eyafunya sente bamose, which means the person who got money was killed. But that is that is false information.
Yafunye sente z'abazungu. Yafunye, because in the sentence, they put the word sente, money, bazungu, white man, bamuse killed.
Well, what the headlines are saying back home on the newspapers, and what you're going to mostly hear, is that eyafunye sente z'abazungu bamuse, which means the person who got money from white people was killed.
Yeah, by his friends.
And some of his friends have been arrested. That's what is being said by the police, and they're still interrogating them. And they say, as they always do, they'll get to the bottom of this case, and the case will be solved. But as they always do, we never really get to know what really happened. What is your view about this, Ivy?
First, my sincere condolences to his parents, to his family, and to those who became the family of choice. As LGBT people, we all come together. Condolences to the diaspora people, LGBT, because we're all mourning together for loss of such a young life, the loss of productivity, and for a lot he could have been if the right environment was given, availed to him. And it is really sad when you read the headlines. We may not know what happened to him, that he was murdered by they purport to be his friends. But also the police are supposed to be doing a lot of that to protect him. But we all know that from the past murders, nothing was covered.
Nothing.
And as today, it all pertains to the money that he received from the West, and that led to his murder. That is something that has been associated with the gay community. Always.
Always.
So for that, there is nothing new. Just like they say, gay people, they get money from the West. So now it's the money from the West that has got him murdered.
Yes.
So that is they're just shoving the case the other way. And I'm more saddened and worried about his friends who have been arrested or investigated, because we may never know, because of how they are perceived, whether their lives are also going to be worth anything.
Yeah.
I think we should stand up more, call for more advocacy to find out what is happening with them, assist them in any way possible. I'm not saying assist them if there's a crime, but assist them with the legal process to make sure that they get the right representation. And if they are not guilty, let them be free, because we all know they're quickly going to bury this case and we're not going to hear anything about it. And most of those people will never hear from them. And they may be hurt in prison. You never know.
I know. It's really sad. That is also something to take note of.
Yeah.
Yes. What is your opinion about this, James?
Okay, thank you. My name is James Nakisa. I'll give you a brief background on myself. I'm a Ugandan. I left Uganda in 2020. That was in October. One of the reasons why I left, I was in that kind of life. Though I was in secrecy, but I know what it means. So my condolences goes to the family and also the LGBTI plus Q community in Uganda. When I came to UK, I was so happy. I was introduced to one of African groups in UK. It was Mr. Abe Ichwanuka who introduced me to UK life. I'm so happy right now. I'm on this platform. I can express myself. I'm open and I live my life. This is the kind of life I've always wanted to live. It's so sad, but police can't do anything. Even
No,
if
they never do.
They never do. They can't do anything. Even if they arrest those people, they can't do anything. So to me, it goes back to the laws. Okay, I can say the laws. They don't provide any sufficient. They are not sufficient to protect our activities. That's why we are being murdered every day. And this is going to continue. This is what we are going to see all the time. Yeah. So it's so sad. But the only way we can try to limit this is to stand up and talk about it. So I'm deeply concerned. That's why I have to come out.
To me, it's the fact that the way because the police says they're still investigating, they arrested 2 people already, and how all the newspapers, they're like printing out exactly what happened already, yet they're the biggest drivers of homophobia in Africa, in Uganda, I should say. So they already know, like, he was killed for money. He got money from the West, and then he was murdered.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
But to me, I believe also police they know also the rich people. But why are they not arrested? But they're only targeting these poor people. I mean, okay. Now, I think I would have been another Noah if I was still in Uganda. Because every time I would experience this. I don't know whether I can experience it in my local language, or should I mention it in my language? Because
Feel free.
okay, I would be like enkoko ene etakola ki?
Enkoko y'omutamiivu.
Yes, enkoko y'omutamiivu. Elucha Revala. Sorry, I'm half a Muganda, half Mugiso. So I grew up with my mom. Yes, because whenever I used to enter my gate and I look at my neighbors looking at me in a weird way. I used to get scared. So it brought, I used not to settle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you're
That's
paranoid.
what you're always
I was
paranoid.
I was paranoid.
You're worried and scared.
Yes. So
what's going to happen.
when I feel what my brother went through. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm really sorry you had to go through that. That must have been pretty hard.
It is feeling unsafe and scared because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who knows you, who saw you, who had what. Anything can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
So you always just have to keep looking behind, who is seeing me, who is watching me. So if someone is watching you, you're worried, like, oh, why are they looking at me like that? You just live in fear. And it is really sad that it doesn't matter, you won't be safe.
Yes.
Because
yes,
even
yes.
the people who are meant to protect you, they are not going to protect you. It is really sad indeed.
Yeah. Actually, Mabel, you mentioned something about the newspapers of how they depicted him. You did not mention that there was no name.
No, they didn't even say his name.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
important that he say his name. It's important that we get for people to know that he's Matthew Noah Kinoni. Kinino. Yeah, Matthew Noah Kinino. We should we should amplify that voice. He had a name. He's not just a person who got money from the Western people.
Well, I believe
and he was murdered for.
I believe they always do that because they don't want to specify. They don't want people to know what exactly went down, what happened. Because, well, he is a gay man in Uganda. Well, gay people are being killed in Uganda. So if they put all this in the newspapers, that will create an uproar. People will ask questions. They will look more into it. They want to know they want to get to the bottom of what exactly happened, which they are not willing to get to, which they never do.
Yes, just to add on what you're saying, they always look at the negative side. They don't look at the contributions. What he did for the nation as Uganda. Because he was in one of the organizations.
He was.
Yes, they don't look at that, which is not right. I mean,
I guess that's what happens when an LGBTIQ plus community member dies in Uganda. They are not a victim. They are never a victim. Yes, you've been killed, you're dead, but you're not the victim. So now he's been murdered, but now they're saying, oh, he took money from people. See?
no, I don't believe that.
Yes,
Of
that's
course,
why they killed him.
the newspapers will come up with that phrase. He took money from the white people. But back of it, we know the truth.
Yeah.
We know the truth. He was murdered because he was our fellow member.
Yes. And after the incident with David Kato, because it really did create an uproar on social media and everywhere and even internationally. So most of these publishing houses are restricted from publishing anything that has to do with the LGBTIQ plus community because they know it will create an uproar. People will come up, questions will be asked, and they will feel like they will have to get to the bottom of it, which they actually never do. That's what matters. That's what happens when LGBTIQ plus people die.
That's it.
That's it.
There is no any investigations.
They don't. They actually will arrest the wrong people. And even if they arrest the right people, they'll let them go.
Even though we are not really sure of what they're saying happened, I think we should depend on the facts given by organizations like Wave of Legacy, Alliance Initiative Uganda. These are people who knew him. Yeah. So if they think he was murdered, I think we're forced to take more of their opinion.
Their opinion, yeah.
For an organization to put weight behind that statement, to say he was murdered. That's something. As we go ahead and wait for what the police are coming up with, and hopefully we see justice for him. But either way, I think as a group, as a community, more has been shown at this time that there is lack of. We're not coming together as before, because by now the whole LGBTQ community would have been in uproar. both back home and in the diaspora. But it doesn't seem like most of them, and they say justice delayed is not justice denied. Or justice delayed is justice denied. In actual sense. This is it. Whatever they're quickening is not the fact that we need to see the justice, but more so we should come together, we should protest, we should amplify the voices of the few organizations that have come out.
Yes.
As diasporans, as out and proud African LGBTI here in the UK, what can we do about this situation?
All right. Number one, as out and proud African LGBTI in England, I mean, for us, we are here, we are safe, we are in Britain, we are in England, Netherlands, France, and all that. So the only thing we can do for us is just to amplify those voices, to share it, be it on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, every social media platform. Each death in such countries like Uganda, Nigeria, any country that criminalizes homosexuality, we need to amplify, because we are aware that countries like Uganda, the government has instructed the police, the media, not to talk about any LGBTI issue, murder, because they don't want the backlash which happened in 2011 when David Kato was murdered. So, despite, like today, when the Bukit, they said, yeah, centers about yafunye sente z'abazungu bamuse, but it's a bit vague. They don't define, and yafunye, they don't define, so they leave it generic that there's no anywhere that a gay man was murdered. Pastor Ram Kagwa shared that information. I mean, as soon as that guy was murdered, I read the article. It was at night. And then I feel so sorry about the deceased. He was a young man, murdered brutally, stabbed in the neck many times because of his sexuality. So I shared it. But here there are many LGBTI people, QQ in diaspora, who kept quiet. It's like it didn't matter. I would expect them to share it on their Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere, but they didn't. So my sister here is going to read what Pastor Ram wrote on his Facebook. So Pastor Ram is castigating this newspaper media, the book at the Uganda version of the government newspaper. So read this for us. All
right. Pastor Ram Gava Kagwa of Adonai Inclusive Ministries posted this article. It says, "It's a pity to read this nonsense in one of the national newspapers feeding the nation with wrong stories in such a trying moment. The New Vision would love to have more clarity on this news. The readers of the newspaper are the family and friends of the late killed person who get confused with your confusing, heartless news. Stop making fun out of people's lives. We need justice for Matthew against the oppressor and the murders of the LGBTQI+ community in Uganda. Remaining silent and giving uncensored articles publicly means you are part or agree with the oppressors of the LGBTIQ community in Uganda. The Ugandan media has always stayed silent on the trending vice of killing, the increased violence. The Ugandan media has always stayed silent on the trending vice of killing and the increased violence of the LGBTQI persons in the country. You can't be a public newspaper and just come out with fun over serious matters to make business out of the marginalized communities. I call upon all human rights defenders globally, the government of Uganda, security institutions, policymakers, activists, and everyone to hear my cry towards killing of LGBTIQ persons in Uganda. Let's step up for rights and justice for all humans. The only crime LGBTIQ persons commit below the sun is love. And we are the wave of change now. We are the wave. Justice for Matthew. Justice for LGBTIQ community, Uganda. LGBTQ lives matter. Well, in addition to his article, we're going to talk to him right now, and he's going to give us maybe more detailed information of what his view to this is.
Hi, Pastor Ramgava.
Yes, hi.
Hi. We've just read your post on Facebook that you wrote in the wake of the murder of Matthew. And could you give us more details about it?
Yes, we lost a member, and the names are Noah Matthew, Chinino. We got to know that from the family. And then this happened on the 11th, this very month of July 2022. And this member was found murdered in his house. No one actually knows the cause of the murder, but the police says that they're doing the investigation. But we work together with the family to see that the burial happens in a place called Namtamba. Yes, it's Mitiana Road, yeah, Mitiana Road, and the church and the family connected in the same spirit and handled the burial ceremony. And as we talk now, every time we receive something new about the death, the newspapers bringing in some information, and then members also say different information. So the cause has not really been clear, and we don't know yet what's the reason of all it, what's behind his death. But with the interaction, what we've shared on our pages about the statement that we've made is after the interaction that we've had with the family that said the members that have been threatening the late now, threatening to kill the person because of how he behaved and his lifestyle. So the mother says this in pain, and so with our platforms, we are having this information from that background. It's really so sad.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Ramgava.
Yes, you're welcome.
Well, it's the fact that the family has already shared with the police that he's been receiving threats, and people were telling him they will kill him because of the way he was, because of the way he walked and the way he carried himself, basically because of his sexuality. It's why won't the police mention such a thing? Well, I believe they would have mentioned. This is a detail they would have given out, well, for the public to know, but I suppose they won't be saying anything about this case anymore.
I agree, because Pastor Ram has been speaking to the mother of the late, who has enlightened that, but all we are getting is about the money received.
And then arresting his close friends, his very close friends. Well, anyway, we yet to know what exactly happened, but we just don't want to leave out any fact that or any information that we know for now, and we'll keep sharing with you what's going to happen, and we hope he receives justice, and we hope he doesn't die in vain.
Yeah, we need the police to do something. We need the police to investigate from the bottom of the case. And yeah, put those one who are responsible for his murder or for his death.
I would like to call my fellow members, the LGBTI plus Q members in diaspora. We need to stand up. We need to share, spread this message. We need to fight for our rights. My fellow members in Uganda, I would like to say, especially for me personally, let me say it in Uganda, in my local language. Tukyali nammwe, tukyalwana. Era tujja kumalako ekyo kyo nkikakasa. we are still fighting. That's what I can say. We shall always fight for our rights.
Well, take heart, all of our brothers and sisters back home in Uganda. It is really such a big loss. And, well, our condolences cannot be enough, but we really do hope you find comfort somewhere, somehow. Be safe. Don't just be out there, because they're out to get us. And they really are. And no one is actually on our side at this rate. Not the government, not the police, and sometimes not the communities themselves. So you just have to be safe, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, look out for each other. Well, and then we hope for a better future.
I hope so.
Yes. As for Out and Proud, an African LGBTI here in London, we're going to do our best, what we do best. We created this platform to create awareness. We're going to voice, we're going to share to many people as possible, because the world needs to see what's happening. Maybe then we'll get an extra helping hand from wherever, and maybe we shall get people together who will fight with us.
Yes. Yeah, as a group in Europe, the only thing we need to do is to amplify those voices in the wilderness. Whatever happens to them, to say it loud, so that the whole world get to know about it. Because I know the media can't say it, because they have instructed, directed to not to publish anything with regards to LGBTI persecution in Uganda. So we as the group we are obliged, it's our obligation to share such messages, such stories to the whole world. And we call upon all LGBTI community in Europe or in the diaspora that please use your social media effectively, because if you keep quiet, no one will know about it and nothing will ever change. But if we come out and voice our anger, something might change. The police might do something. The police might say, yes, a gay man was killed in this area. But if we keep quiet, the media, the Ugandan media, like the Bucket, they will own that story. That yes, barwanidde ssente ne betta. Ssente zavudde mu bazungu beerwanye ne betta. So every person, the relative, they won't be bothered. They will say, oh, these are thugs in the area. Yet it's not true. So we need to amplify those voices in the wilderness. And if you are in Europe or one of our members here in England, and you have Facebook, but you don't share such information, tugamba yocha n'amasiro. You are the babagamba batone yali mu Bible, Judah Iscariot.
Judas.
So you are the Judah Iscariots of this world, because your brothers are being murdered, but your mouth are kept. Yet you are safe. You are in the diaspora. You can say anything you want to say. You are safe. No one is going to harm you. No one is going to persecute you for using your mouth or social media platform. So use them effectively. So as a group, we are planning every Friday kind of like to introduce topics. So if you are out there and then you'd like to be part of this podcast, the African LGBTI Out and Proud podcast, we chat about each and every issues which are affecting our communities. We chat about immigration. 2 weeks back, the UK government deported 21 asylum seekers back to Nigeria and Ghana. And among one of those was this guy, the openly gay man, who even featured on the Guardian newspaper. So, but they deported him. So we would start sharing such information. This week, 4 Ugandans were deported. Failed asylum seekers, failed LGBTI asylum seekers were deported.
Our claimed protectors turning to our prosecutors.
The only message I've got for LGBTI people and the allies is we need to come together at this point. We are too apart. We're not collecting we're not coming together as a family. We should be fighting for this. We should make sure we get justice for Matthew and justice also for the people who were arrested, because we do not know whether they committed the crime or not. But we are sure that they may be accused of committing a crime they did not commit. So we should make sure we fight that together. And it's one Matthew too many. We should make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Okay, for me, my message is simple. Let's share this message to all LGBTI members. Let it be in America, basically in diaspora. Let's spread this message. Let's stand for our rights. Simple as that.
Yeah, so my message is to those LGBTI people in Uganda and in other countries that criminalize homosexuality, that just come out when you are safe. Don't just come out for the sake of coming out. If you assess the situation and you really see that you are not safe, it's better to be in closet than to lose your life. I always receive messages from, especially from Uganda, people sending me messages on Facebook that, how can we come there? How can we reach to you guys? We want to be free. But our hands are tied here in England or in Europe. We can't do anything because even in the UK is so tough that they're trying as much as possible to limit people coming. There's no visa for asylum. Yeah.
All right, our viewers, stay with us. Be with us. We are with you, our viewers and our listeners from back home Uganda. We're with you in prayer and we are trying our level best. For now, this is the most we can do for you. We can share your views, we can share opinions, we can share your pain and your cries and the agony everyone is going through back home, especially the LGBTIQ plus community. Our condolences from Opal to the family of the deceased. We pray to God, may his soul be received and may he rest in eternal peace.
Amen.
Amen. Right. Till next week. See you.
Bye.
Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.